Hi, everybody. Welcome to Curated by Becta's Meal Kit number 150. Wow, that's a big number. Thanks for ordering this week. You picked a great week to order because this menu is the bomb. Three of my absolute favorite dishes that Chef Rich puts together for you, and I can't wait to jump in. So, preheat your oven to 450 degrees, or if you're like me, 425 with a convection oven. You want to take your asparagus and in the box it came with, so you don't dirty a mixing bowl. Generous amount of olive oil, some salt and pepper. I was out at Rito Pines Farm with Matt from the farm this weekend, and he was showing off all this beautiful asparagus that he's harvesting for us, and it's so great. Make sure to get out there. They do a ton of pick your own stuff, not just strawberries, all kinds of things. So it's a wonderful thing if you're able to make it to Manotick. Yeah, they're just the nicest people, and they have the best produce, and yeah, it's really great. So make sure to check it out. So these lovely local asparagus spears going in the oven. Make sure to leave a little space for your short rib, which needs to go in there as well. Hey, Google, set a timer for 12 minutes. Yeah, thanks, that device that I won't repeat its name. Um, the same amount of time is going to be required to do your braised beef short ribs. We braise these sous vide for 72 hours at low temperatures, and they are amazing. So, salt and pepper, both sides. And cast iron pan if you have one. If not, a heavy bottom pan. Make sure to turn the hood fan on because it's going to create a little bit of smoke. And once the pan is hot, drop that in. We're going 2 minutes on each side with some neutral oil, either canola or grapeseed oil. I like the grapeseed oil, but it's hard to find these days. And now that you've got those stuff rolling, oh yeah, by the way, some mashed potatoes in a pot, medium heat. Just keep stirring for it and make sure to season it with salt and pepper before you're done. Let's talk about this delicious B-side Riesling from Charles Baker. Stratus Vineyards. Charles is a friend of mine for 25 years now, and he literally makes the best Riesling in Canada. He gets all the awards, and I love his stuff. It's going to be incredible with the salad that we've got going on. Okay, so with this, we've got our preserved lemon vinaigrette. Put it in a bowl. The box that comes in is a little small to toss it in, so you'll want to get a larger bowl because the endive really and spread them out. If they're sort of stacked on one another, make sure to spread them out and season it well with salt and pepper because endive can be a little bitter on its own, and the salt cuts that bitterness. And give it a really good stir so that all of the different pieces of endive, again, separate them out. Get some of that lovely preserved lemon vinaigrette. So usually I tell you to make your appetizer, enjoy it, eat it, and then move to your main course. You can do that, but this week's menu is actually also good, done all at once. Yeah, it's pretty great actually. Certainly for the recording part, I love it. It's the chef has made it really easy. Got a lot of things going on this weekend. We got race weekend, which I'm really excited by because I'll be participating with the Boys and Girls Club for Walk This Way, where the children walk 5 kilometers. These are kids who usually are not athletic at all and they don't have an opportunity to participate in active sports. And so they just build up 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, and then finally 5K at the 5K race. And they mostly walk it and they just feel like heroes when they come across that finish line because they've otherwise not been able to enjoy that sense of accomplishment in the sporting world. So for some of them, they go on to run marathons, and it's just amazing to see. So with the short rib, you might have a couple little pieces that stick to the pan, and that's okay. So 2 minutes per side, we're going to sear, and then we're going to butter bathe it, and then throw it in the oven. All right, we need some spoons tonight. So the first one is going to be for our whipped feta. Let's put this down. It's really weird. Usually, this meal serves myself, my wife, and our 17-year-old son. But tonight, I'm plating it up for two of us, which would then get divided into three. But I'm eating alone. My wife is out with a girlfriend of hers, having a wonderful meal together, and I didn't know that my son was working. He works at a restaurant nearby Gezellig, in fact. So if you're ever at Pure Kitchen in Westboro and you see someone that kind of looks like me, make sure to say hello. His name is Shannon, and he's terrific. And he's been there for a couple of years, and he really enjoys the restaurant business. So the whipped feta, my suggestion, if you're watching this in advance, pull the feta out a little bit earlier than I did, because then you'll be able to spread it a little bit nicer. This is pretty firm, but it's still going to work great. Just you want to be able to spread it easily. My wife's going to eat the salad tomorrow on her own for lunch, I'm sure. And then my son's going to eat the short ribs tonight when he gets home. Okay, I guess I can turn off the hood fan now that I've done most of the searing. 1 ounce or 1 tablespoon per person of butter. Throw that in there. Let it melt down. And then we're going to do some butter basting. If you, like me, have a cast iron pan, make sure to grab a rag so you don't burn yourself. And move the butter around. And get the short ribs in a nice place. And we're going to butter bathe them. Oh, this is going to be so good. Yeah, we've done braised short ribs before, but it's very rare that we do the 72-hour, and they just are like butter. They fall apart, and they're just so tasty. But make sure you season them well, because they really need it. Otherwise, they just kind of, it's like a band without a bass player. You're really missing something. Okay, that's some nice braise. Now we're going to turn this over. Get the butter. And by the way, this is great for any kind of meats or fish that you do in a pan. That's a little bit of butter basting. Gives it a luxurious texture and flavor that you won't get otherwise. So there's a little trade secret for you. Straight from Curated by Becca. Oh, I forgot to mention, we've got our jus here, our mustard jus. And you want to heat that up on medium-low and just give it a nice little stir. And I forgot we're going to have to add some butter to that. I forgot that we need some more butter. Okay, the butter bathing is done now. So the short ribs are going to go in the oven, and they're going to come out in 5 minutes. Hey, Google, set a timer for 4.5 minutes. There we go. Okay, so this heated up nicely, and I need a knife to be able to cut my butter. And half a tablespoon per person. So 1 tablespoon for 2 people. Throw it in there, and then just make sure to give it a nice stir. And while I'm in the fridge, I can pull out our amazing chocolate bomb. I cannot wait for this. So you want to serve it chilled, but yeah, I want to pull it out now so that I can get ready. Don't forget to stir your mashed potatoes so it doesn't get too much of a crust on it. Well, a little bit of a crust is not a bad thing with mashed potatoes. Well, it gives it a little extra texture. Okay, so the endive has been marinating in this preserved lemon vinaigrette, which is great. And now we're going to set it up in whatever pattern you like so that it's super pretty and looks kind of like a flower for me, but you guys can do your own. Any way you like. Some people like to dice it up, and some people like to make it like a flower, and some people can just mix it up. I love when you guys post your videos because it lets me see how you're plating this at home. There's a lot of endive here. We may cut back this endive just a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of endive there. I'm going to turn down the mashed potatoes now that it's got a bit of a crust. and it's nice and warm. Don't forget to add some salt and pepper to that. And with the jus, get the butter all melted in there and turn up just a notch. Actually, I can just move it to here. Why don't we do that? Of course, I turned off the element. There we go. That's on low. Very nice. Okay, back to the salad. So tapenade and almonds are next. Try to sort of mix it around so that all the tapenade is not in one place. A little too much in that guy. A little bit with every piece of endive is a nice thing. And we've also got, what's happening this weekend? The Great Glebe Garage Sale. For all those people in the Glebe, if you've ordered from us, I really hope we can get to you because it's going to be a bit of a challenge doing deliveries, but we'll figure it out. Got an amazing person named Melissa who runs our Curative by Vector program, and she's terrific. Okay, tapenade's down, almonds next. So funny, sometimes I think, oh yeah, this is going to be the Instagram worthy picture, and sometimes it changes throughout the course of the plating. I really feel alone here today, like I'm talking to myself because nobody else is in the house. And then the Serrano ham, or for those vegetarians out there, we've got some sliced apple for you. And it won't necessarily say in the instructions, but just take your apple and slice sort of a side off, omitting the middle, and then slice it as thin as possible and put it on top. It's a great way to garnish any salad in the summertime. Or wintertime for that matter, because that's when I eat more apples. That's a good looking salad. Okay. So, right out of the 80s in terms of presentation. Serrano and endive salad with whipped feta, olive tapenade, shaved Serrano ham, salted almonds, and preserved lemon vinaigrette. Hey Google, off. Hey Google, off. So that's our short rib. And what I'm going to suggest that you do, just drag this through your butter and keep the warm pan nearby. And what you can do to warm it up after it's rested and relaxed is just run it through the butter a little bit. Hey Google, off. So obviously I'm not going to be resting my my short ribs as much because my asparagus is ready. So I'm going to pull my asparagus out. It's looking nice. I've turned the heat off. I'm going to leave the oven door ajar so it keeps it warm, but it's not going to keep cooking. And then I'm going to plate our dessert, and then we can get going on the rest. By the way, the red wine tonight is this lovely Rioja. Pencia Conseca. And so this is a stainless steel fermented Rioja that's aged in some old American cask, and it's just lovely. With the short ribs, you want something with bright acidity because the glutamic acid that is present when you cook the short ribs, you need something bright to pick it up. And this Rioja really does it. Okay, so let's plate our dessert. Pretty simple stuff. We've got our creme anglaise. That should be runny. And our chocolate bomb with chocolate mirror glaze. And this is an Earl Grey tea creme anglaise. My son is going to lick this container later on, so I'm going to leave it out for him. And hopefully it sort of melts a little bit. I think I'm going to add a note to Temper creme anglaise. This is why we do these meal kit videos, so that we test out the recipes and we know how to adjust a little bit. But there it is, dark chocolate bomb with the chocolate mirror glaze and the Earl Grey creme anglaise. All right, so let's get this party started on the main course. This mashed potatoes, oh yeah, don't forget, season with salt and pepper. Nice big dollop in the center of your plate. Spread it around a little bit. I love these little spatulas. That's looking good. Make sure to give our jus a little stir. Asparagus up next. Whoops. My towel got caught. All right, tongs. Now we've already seasoned with salt and pepper, but you know what? It doesn't hurt with asparagus, fresh stuff like this, to hit it with a little bit more. Make sure it tastes great. We're going to do the same thing with the beef in just a second. For resting, I really like using a cookie sheet and a baking tray underneath, because it allows the heat to get in there. And I'm going to do what I suggested doing, which is drag this through the butter a little bit. It's a really nice texture, and it warms it up a little bit. And who doesn't love butter? Good for your mental health. And again, hit this with a little salt and pepper. And we're going to top it with the marinated onions. These guys are not cooperating with me in terms of looking pretty. They're falling up around. There we go. That guy's looking a little better. And then we've got our jus, our mustard jus. So need a spoon. A lot of spoons tonight. What you can do is put it on the side and sort of drag your spoon through it. And that will give it that nice chef's touch, as they call it. So there is our beautiful 72-hour braised beef short rib with the marinated onions, burrito pines asparagus, roasted mashed potatoes, and the mustard jus. I hope you love your meal. Thanks for ordering this week. Thanks for letting us be a part of something great. 150 meal kits plus all of our others. We're about 200 right now. So thanks for the support. We love doing this, and hope you love your dinner.